Hey y'all, I'm Christine. Thanks so much for watching. I lost some of my footage, so I'm sorry, but we are going to be making over this little, I'm guessing it was a vanity. If you see that mirror there on the table, it was like a bifold and each side opened up, but that was broken. I looked up and found this at a yard sale, and I got it for $5 because the mirror, the piece that held the mirror down onto the table, it was broken off. So you're going to see me, I've tried to use my pliers, but between the pliers and I eventually pulled out a handsaw, I did get that piece off. Now I'm going to say this is an antique piece, and the reason why I say is because look how that was fastened into that table. It was like wood dowels, and they had the rings on it. And then it's got two washers that are completely made of wood. This thing's made well. The drawers are dovetail. This is a well-made piece. Y'all, I would not be painting this with chalk paint if it wasn't in rough condition, but it had some gouges on the tabletop that I'm just going to fill in with some spackling. If you have wood filler, certainly use that. I didn't have any on hand, and spackling works well as well. So I'm just going to fill those pieces in, and then some places around the edge of the tabletop were kind of gouged, like something had hit it and taken out some pieces. I'm going to fill that in, let that dry, and then do a sanding on it. And also where that piece comes off that the mirror's set on, I'm going to keep that. I just like the look of it. Of course, it's got the holes, so I was not going to worry about trying to fill in those holes, and I like that piece. So I'm going to keep that, but underneath, I'm guessing it was some wood glue or something. It left a sticky tacky kind of residue on the table, so I'm just going to give it a good sanding. I'm not looking to take any of that stain off because we are using chalk paint, and that is the beauty of chalk paint. So let whatever you're using as your filler dry, and then come back and do that sanding. Then I'm going to use a primer, and this is Rust-Oleum Flat White. Now, it's not necessary for chalk paint, but I am going to distress this back. I want some of that stain to show through, and also I want some of that white. So we're gonna get 3 layers of color there. No, we're not going to get a whole lot of the white, but you're going to see some of it peeking through. So that's why I'm using the primer on it. And I just want to kind of extra fill in everything real good. Get rid of those where I used my sandpaper, get rid of those strokes, marks at as well. Then I am going to come in with my Sage color chalk paint. Y'all, I've used this a lot. Y'all watch me, and I appreciate you guys watching so much. I use this color a lot. It is beautiful. And actually, I bought a whole container just for this project because I wasn't sure if what I had on hand would last. So I bought a whole new little jar of it. And I went through about half of it. So that's how far chalk paint goes. And I used 2 coats. Now, y'all look at these drawers, look at these handles. I'm going to reuse these because I just think they're gorgeous. So I'm just going to take them off and set them to the side, and we will work on those in a little bit. So see, you can see now I've got my tabletop prime here, and then you're just going to see me working in this chalk paint. I'm not going to show you me working all of that chalk paint, but you can just see me brushing on a little bit of that chalk paint. And like I said, if this piece was not well used and had some marks in it, I would never be painting this because I love old pieces. I love stain, but because it's well used, I'm going to put it in my booth, so that's why we're working in the chalk paint there. You can see me, I got the tabletop there. I'm going to come back and do the drawers. Now the drawers, it was just the front and the top and the bottom. The sides, they go all the way in. and they weren't really stained, so I'm not going to worry about staining those. And then I'm going to use my chalk paint. Then I'm going to spray those handles with a matte black, and then we're going to come back and do something with that as well. So this piece, y'all, this is gorgeous. I've not done a furniture flip to resell in my booth, so this is the first one. I'm sorry that you guys can't get a real good picture of the whole thing. Stick with me to the end and you'll see all of it styled over. It's pretty tall piece, and it was just hard for me to try to get everything in the camera shot. So just stay with me here. I know you're seeing piece by piece, but just stay with me here, and I promise you guys it'll be well worth it in the end. Now, if you're new to my channel, of course, I'd appreciate it so much if you would hit that subscribe button. You guys give me some likes, give me some comments. I appreciate it. I want to know what you guys want to see in the future. I am just doing a lot of the flips, showing you items that I am doing for resale, so that's what I'm showing you guys, because as I work them, I just film them, and then when I get through, most of it goes in my booth for resale, and I do really good on my items. Some of it stays in my home, and I usually tell you guys when I decide to keep a piece, and it was hard to part with this one, so I'm just going to throw that out there. Now, I had this new mold that I had gotten from ReDesign with Prima, and it's called the Thornton Medallion. I am just going to use my air dry clay. This is nothing special, no particular brand. I just get mine from Hobby Lobby. Now, the way I use it, you want to put some cornstarch in your molds. That's just going to keep your clay from sticking down in there and help you to get it out. So I just use a paintbrush, put that in there, and then turn my mold over and get out the excess. I kind of rolled my clay, and this is getting old, so it was a little harder to work with. A new clay is not going to be this hard to work with, so I really had to work at it. It's still good, it's just a little dried, and I've been putting some wet wipes in there with it and sealing it good. Just make sure you get the air out of your bag. That helps with it keep from drying out. But I kind of roll it like a snake, and then I push it in there. I know a lot of people use a credit card to take off the excess. I use like my art knife for painting. I kind of use that, so I'm kind of pushing and scraping across the top at the same time. I am going to use every single one of these. There's 3 pieces, and then I'm actually going to that big middle part. I'm going to come back and do another one of those because I need 2 pieces of that. So you'll see what I mean in a little bit. I put mine on with Tight Bond Quick and Thick. I just use my finger to spread it out. I know a lot of people don't want to touch the glue. You can certainly use a brush or whatever, but I just use my finger and do a good liberal coat of that, because you need this to be permanent, you guys. So I kind of measured out, well, I measured out the middle of this top piece. Now, this is the vanity part that the mirror sat on. So we took that part off, sanded that down real good. You can see the molds on here. Y'all, look how beautiful this is. So we're going to not let that mold dry. They did crack a little bit, but everybody says if you'll paint them when they're not quite dry, it helps prevent cracking. I did get a crack there because when I went to go put it down, these are long pieces, so it kind of pulled apart. I'm not minding the cracking so much, but you know, if you guys are picky about it, you've got some time before it dries to work with this air dry clay, so you can kind of move it around a little bit. I'm going to paint mine. Then I'm going to come in with my finger sander and do some distressing. And I'm going to show you, you can see this big mold here. I know that's not a good picture. Stick with me to the end. I put one on either side of the table itself. That's the big ones. And I just did where the bottom of the piece set right at level to the bottom of the table. So there you can see that. And I did come back with a small paintbrush and had to push some more paint. I tried a chippy brush. I don't know why I did that because I never use a chippy brush on these molds. I did have to come in with a soft bristle brush. Now this product that I'm showing you guys, this is so pretty, and I just picked this up from Hobby Lobby. I've never worked with this before, but it's called Deco Art Metallic Lustra, and it's the color Champagne Ice. Y'all, this looks like, for all my women out there who are makeup lovers, I love makeup. I don't wear a whole lot of it all the time, but I love it. It looks like a highlighter. I promise you that's what it looks like. It's like this pearly color. It is gorgeous. So I tried applying it with a brush. That did not work. It's a little bit thicker. You really got to push in there to get it. So I ended up using my finger. Now on my handles for my drawers, I used some rub and buff on them, and I put my rub and buff on with my finger, and I came back in with this Champagne Ice. It is called a wax metallic finish. That's what it is. And I put some of that on my handles. I like the look of the combination. So on all of my molds, I am going to do the rub and buff. I do it with my finger. And then I am going to come back with this wax metallic finish and put that on. And I put a heavier coat on it, on the pieces than I did the rub and buff. Then I'm just going to let that dry, and I take everything outside, and I gave it about 3 coats of a clear coat. I really want this piece to last. It is gorgeous, so I'm hoping that whoever purchases from my booth will really enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like these furniture makeovers. I'll try to throw in some more of them. It just takes a little bit longer to do these guys, but I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you're new, please consider to subscribe, help my little small channel grow. You guys are awesome, and until the next time, thank you so much.